Sights and sound of IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup Day. Darren Williams, it's not too far away. When you see pictures like that and you see this place, Addington Raceway, bubbling with people looking to enjoy yourself, you know, spring has sprung and it is really close.
Yeah, look, it's getting exciting. Everyone's starting to feel the buzz and people are ringing up flat tack. We're going to cover off a few of those questions today, but everyone's starting to get excited. Tickets are picking up momentum, so get into addington.co.nz for all that information. I think we're going to have a look at that now, Greg.
Yeah, I think so, because the 1st of September we did kick things off and a few tickets went out the door pretty quickly. So talk me through how to buy a ticket to IRT New Zealand Cup Day.
So addington.co.nz, they have to be bought online. This is the homepage, racing events. Simply click on Cup Week. It'll tell you where the hospitality tickets are, where Cup Day and Show Day are. To start with, it gives you some information about each day. So some information about Cup Day, the fact that Show Day is just a gold coin donation, so you don't need to buy a GA ticket for Show Day. It's a gold coin donation. There are some other packages on there when you have a look at that, but obviously it's got a countdown there, Greg, 8 weeks to go. But effectively you're just going into whichever version you want, so Cup Day ticketing, and it will give you all of the information about what's happening on the day for you to look at, the various packages that are available, transport, all of that sort of stuff, and you simply click on Get Tickets.
Your quantities over here, and it'll add it up for you.
And on each one of these there is some information that you can look at about exactly what that is and what it involves. Everywhere on course we'll be using the waiver wristbands for food and
so
alcohol. Cashless.
Yep.
You'll still be able to bet with cash, but you can actually use your wristband to bet if you want to. It's a much simpler way of doing it, and it speeds up the service, delivery service, which is one of the things we want to do. So pretty much follow your nose, have a look around. There's a whole lot of things that are very popular, including the Punters Lounge, which is effectively the old Twiggers part of the course.
Right.
Some people like that. They're away from the noise of everything else going on and they can get their seat and sit there. Bacardi on the green is going to be the hottest place on course. Very cool.
Yep.
It's going to have a really good vibe. And the public village, whilst it says public, I can assure you that that's going to be pretty exciting as well, with a stage and all sorts of stuff.
All right, so that's where you go online to get that. What about if you're an owner of a horse that's racing on Cup Day?
Yep, so we've been asked this a number of times this week about whether they need to buy admission tickets. So if you are an owner of a horse racing on the day, you will get 2 tickets into the property. The only limitation is syndicates, and they're limited to 10. We won't be emailing out a GA ticket this year. Simply at the front gate where you come into the course will be an owner's collection area, which is effectively the same as if you were inside the property collecting your lanyard inside the property. We'll do the whole thing outside.
Yep.
So when you arrive on course, you'll collect your ticket, your lanyard, which will get you into the owner's marquee. So if you are a single owner, you will get 2 tickets.
Yep.
If you are 4 people that own the horses, you'll get 8 tickets. Syndicates limited to 10. If you're a syndicate within an ownership group, so it's owned by 3 people plus a syndicate, those 3 people get 2 tickets each. Syndicate will get 10 in total.
Right.
And the reason for that is to try and make sure that we're comfortable in the owner's marquee for everyone that needs to be in there. And some syndicates, obviously, Greg, have hundreds of people involved in them now.
So obviously the tickets get sent out once the horses are nominated for Cup and Show Day.
Well, the email will go out with the information.
With the information, yeah.
The ticket won't go to them.
No.
The lanyard they'll pick up on the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of the course.
Yeah.
Yep, so look, if you've got any concerns, give us a yell, but more and more information will come out closer to the time. I guess the thing is, if you are part of an ownership and you're not exceeding that number of 10, you've got nothing to worry about. You're going to get a couple of tickets per person. So if you are a single guy owning the horse, you'll be able to bring your partner or wife with you because you're going to get 2 tickets. If you need more than 10 tickets, you need to be buying some GA for those other people.
All right, so it's pretty straightforward. We'll keep updating you as we get closer to the day. Now, this week we have the Avon City Ford New Brighton Cup. I think it's 71st or 72nd running of that great race, and it is a key lead-up race to the IRT New Zealand Cup. We've got a really good field. What you wanted to explain today, though, is if anyone wants to go over the history of the race, well, you can do it via the fields page, but you can just do it by going to HRNZ, clicking on major races and scrolling down, and here we find the New Brighton Cup.
So New Brighton Cup, all this information's there on the HRNZ site. It's fantastic. Obviously, since 2001. All the videos of the races are there, but we were looking at this a couple of days ago, and I just need to find him. Lord Module. So Lord Module won this race in 1980, beating Trevera, Lacano, Royden Scott. Pretty good field.
Zeppelin,
Yeah.
bad luck.
So there's some cool stuff to have a look at. Interesting. Stake was only $8,000.
There you go. And he paid $240 and won by half a neck. So
Yeah,
all
so
the details are there. For you.
Everything's there if you want to have a look. It is quite cool to go back and look. I mean, Trevera was a great horse of the Hamiltons, and Trilobal actually won the new Brighton Cup out of the same year, Bonnell.
Right.
So there's a whole lot of information if you want to have a look at it, and not just for our races, for any sort of races coming up.
All right. I want to go back to last week and the performance of Magic 4. I've wound it forward to this point of the race. Now, Magic 4 was brilliant, and as you scroll this up, you can see 56.3 mile rate home and 56.2, 28.3. The horse I want to highlight here, Darren, is back in the field, Don Maro. And when we get to the Herb and talk about some of his statistics, now at this point of the race, when he's running home that fast, this guy's got no chance. Have a look at the performance of the Roger Austin and Jim Curtin combination here, because he absolutely storms home. He's only had the 6 starts. No knock on this horse. He's flying. He's going great. He's won 2 races this time in for the Duns, and Johnny's driven him to perfection, but staggering performance from him. Expect a lot more of him going forward. And when you go through his sectionals off our own sectionals, 55, 26, 27, 2, but in the Herb, he went 221 overall, Darren, which is amazing time. 53.7 was his last mile time equivalent. So effectively he's come wide on the track, so stunning effort. 54.43, home in 26.71. So his was one of the runs of the race. The other horse I wanted to highlight here was Oscar Bonavina, because he galloped early and was essentially out of play. Now I know Mark Curtin came back and spoke to Regan Todd, his trainer, and said, don't change anything, he's flying this horse. Those sectionals would indicate that. Home in 27.21. Of course, he goes around this week in the Ordeal.
Yep, so all of this information can be found on theurb.co.nz. There's links off our own site, off Addington site, and obviously there's preview information about the fields, and the fields are already there for this week. And all of these results, including going back a few weeks, sit inside the blog on the site. Plus there's results and everything else. It's cool to have a bit of a look at this and have a bit of a play around with it. It's not designed to tell you who the winners are or we'll all be rich. It's designed to give you some services that are available to you by analysing the times that these horses have gone and giving you some information without you having to go through and pour through it yourself. Yeah,
it's absolutely outstanding. So go to it, theurb.co.nz, the Ultimate Race Book, and of course just go to the Addington site and you can get all that information too. Everything's there, Darren, as we build towards Cup Week. That is the one-stop shop for everything. We've got a great night this Friday night, 11 races. Really looking forward to seeing Rapunga Lad in race 2. Excellent performance from the Brent McIntyre trained runner, who's only had the 1 start, bolted in at Winton by a cricket pitch. Wouldn't be coming to Addington Raceway unless he was very good. So the other horse I'm looking forward to seeing is Franco Mac. But we're going to do a full meeting preview and go back to one of those Avon City Ford New Brighton Cups. Yes, Franco Nelson winning in a stellar field that included the likes of Lazarus. So stick with us if you want the full preview, and we'll have that replay at the back of that.
Alrighty, let's get into a full meeting preview. Just a quick reminder, of course, on Thursday this week, Thursday, the day before the race meeting, nominations closed for the IRT New Zealand Cup, the Renwick Farms Dominion and the Graphite Developments Futurity. So just a reminder to trainers and owners about that. Right, let's get into it. 11 race program, Greg. It's a big night. Race 1 gets underway 4:53. Cup Week tickets on sale now. Addington.co.nz for all that stuff. Mobile pace 1980.
Yeah, a couple of first starters here, Darren, both with good chances. Tack Teal, who's beautifully bred out of Tack Lizzie by American Ideal, trained by Mark Jones, has trialled quite nicely. It's got a nice barrier draw. Just drawn inside another richly bred horse here, Beach Party, the 4-year-old by Some Beach Somewhere that Matt Purvis has got. Another one that's trialled up really nicely, including its last start where it beat Philadelphia Philly at the trials. So just come out and run a placing. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good form line. So, it's around the 3-4-4-3. Either way you want to go there. Then you got the race day form, Darren, of Vincent Vega and More Gooder. The latter probably a better chance. Has been going forward in its races. It won't be so easy like it did 2 starts ago to get the front from out there, but should be pretty competitive. 4, 3, 7, 8 in the first.
Race 2 is the first leg of the early quaddie. Letherby Racing Stables, Ashford Motor Lodge Mobile Pace 1980 at 5:22, and of course Amber Letherby and Scott have their owners' night this week. Touch wood, as long as the weather's okay, on the Lanson lawn. So it was very successful last time they did it. We're encouraging as many trainers to have client functions on course, be it out there or back in Spectators over the winter when we see in Coaster How do it, Greg. They're really popular.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they had a great time out on the lawn last time. So, yeah, good luck to them on Friday night. They picked a pretty good race to have their name associated with, because this horse, Raopunga Lad, was unreal on debut. Sometimes you get a little bit carried away by a horse that wins by, 4 or 5 lengths and wins pretty comfortably, but you only need to look at the time and the way this horse did it, his action. He's by Raging Bull, who's leaving a few nice horses now, and Brent McIntyre. Absolutely no chance in the world, Darren, he would bring it to Addington Raceway unless he thought he could win, and I'm pretty sure this horse can win. So it stands itself out on top, owned by Timsy, so good luck to him. Hale Lucius, Regan Todd got the win with this horse last time. It's now 2 from 8, and I expect a big run. It's been to the Methven trials to fit it for this race. Then I thought Bubba Scrub gave Regan a really strong 2-pronged attack in this. And Brie Express is much better than her last start performance going on her previous runs, because she's got a bit of talent, but can't wait to see a Raopunga Lad come to Addington Raceway.
Race number 3 is the Hydroflow Handicap Trot, 2,600 metres at 5:47, and the team from Hydroflow and Reese Plumbing are in the Silk Suite this week, Greg, so they'll be having a good night.
Yeah, and massive supporters of the game, as we know. They have a big go on IRT New Zealand Cup Day too, with their own big team on track. So, yep, hope they enjoy it on Friday night. Resolve's the one to beat, overdue to get a winning turn. Both of her seconds. They're a month ago now, but she was in good form, and Paul Nairn would have kept her up to the mark. So I'm happy to have the 3 on top. To beat Fighting Fire, excellent win at Oamaru, then came here to Addington and got wide around that last bend and got a bit rank and rolled into a gallop. He's a big son of Pete. He's got a motor if he can stay trotting. Prince Tech is always competitive, Darren. He'll step, he'll be in the front end, and he'll take some catching again. And I gave Artie by the Hill a pretty good chance as well. First up in the south, but did go to the Rangiora trials in behind Muscle Mountain, and that was a bit of a fact-finding mission, and I think it'll be ready to run a race too. 3, 11, 6 and 10. Good race though, race 3. I've left out the Bloss, who prior to having a wee let-up was in sublime form.
Race number 4, part of this massive series that culminates in the final on New Zealand Cup Day, the Neverly R Fillies Series. This is Series 44, heat number 2, mobile pace 1980 at 6:12, and packed with talent, Greg.
Yeah, no question. And the top 2 favourites for the final on Cup Day are in this. True Fantasy, she's been the benchmark at 2 and 3 throughout her career. She's won the 9 from 15. She comes up with barrier 5. And therefore, she's got the advantage over Artie's Express, who, of course, was so good winning the Southland Oaks, bolted in down there, has gone to the trials, been great in behind Republican Party, who we'll talk about in a later race. And, yeah, inside second row. Look, I don't think they'll be too worried about that, because she can follow the speed through. She follows out Chambray, who had no luck last time. I'm expecting a much better performance from her. Just went into a gallop about 400 from home, but spoke to Mark Purden after that race, and he said she was bolting, so she would have got some. And a better user Group 1 winner from barrier 2. I haven't even got to First Rose yet, who was excellent. 3rd here at Addington back on the 19th, and then franked that by beating Obsession in a really dominant performance. So this is a good race, and the series is always full of depth, but I'll stick with True Fantasy only just from the barrier draw this week.
The last leg of the early quaddie, the Renwick Farms Audio Trotting Cup time-honoured race, Group 3, 2,600 at 6:42, Greg, and I think we've got 5 horses here rated higher than 100, and it doesn't include Sunday Sun. So all bolt for brilliance. So there's some real talent amongst these horses, and great to have a Bipty Inter back on track.
Yeah, haven't seen the former Dominion winner for a good couple of years, or close to a couple of years, and actually finished third in this race back in 2019. I'd imagine he'd need a run. Muscle Mountain's the interesting runner. First up, bookies have opened the market. You got $2 or $1.90 thereabouts. Don't forget, fresh up in the Canterbury Park Cup last year, stood on the mark. Not suggesting he'll do that again, but there is that little bit of trepidation around his fresh up performance. His trial was excellent, but he didn't beat much. He did it in good style, but you'd expect him to beat that quality, a horse like that. You still have to have him in your top two. Mataderos is the one I've gone for on top. Yes, he got it wrong first up, Darren, but he was dominant last time. And when he gets in that mode, if he can get to the markers for John Dunn, he'll really take some catching here. So I'll go for Mataderos, just over Muscle Mountain. If Muscle Mountain steps and gets the front, well, it'll probably be the other way around. Loved what Oscar Bonavina did in his last mile. Expect a pretty big run from him. And Majestic Man was luckless last time, and how can you leave him out? He was $1.40, $1.50 last time. He's $9 if you want to stick with the ship there. 6, 4, 8 and 2. Excellent contest, the Renwick Farms Ordeal of 2022.
Race number 6 sees us get underway with a $30,000 guaranteed terminating pick 6. So just take note of that. Reese Plumbing handicap trot, 2,600, 707. Reese Plumbing, of course, massive supporters with SEN as well, Greg, and run a number of competitions there for the team.
Yeah, absolutely they do. And gee, you buggers in the racing department have picked a tricky leg to kick things off for the Terminator. Thanks very much for that. It's so easy. Well, it certainly is not, but if it's so easy trots, it will nearly win this. The mare by Majestic Sun, Peter Davis, Margot 9. I know it's been a hard watch since that win. What's that? 5 starts back now, but look, the motor's definitely there. If she can bring in manners, she's the one to beat. Benny and the Jets, talk about that Muscle Mountain form from the trials. Well, Benny and the Jets got closest and would only need to replicate that. Coaster Hare, Robbie Close, Magnifique Monche comes off the 10 metres. Won't be easy, but it is a field she can handle. So I think you definitely want to have her. And Miss Yo's had no luck this time in. I reckon you need all 4 of those on the ticket in the first leg. 6, 3, 9 and 8.
Race number 7, sponsors of the great race, the IRT, Your Horse, Our Passion, 2-year-old mobile pace, 1980, 737.
Yeah, go wide of the track here, 6 and 7. Just put both of them on your ticket. Ultra Meteor was really impressed me since coming south. Gee, he's been excellent. He beat Mossdale Mac, who then came out last week and just got beaten. That was back on the 5th of August, but he's had a trial to just keep him ticking over. It was a behind Love Struck, so I reckon Ultimate Meteor will be hard to beat. Charlie Brown's done nothing wrong. Geez, 2 runs, and they've both been excellent, Darren. So I think you definitely just want those 2. McKendrick's first up run for the Dunn team was terrific too. That was in behind Charlie Brown. And Dance with the Bosses impressed me at the trials out of the Matt Purvis team. 6, 7, 2 and 1, but in terms of pick 6, you play around the 6 and 7 for mine.
If you're not live in pick 6, you can have a go at the Lake Quaddy, and it's not easy either, Greg. We start with the new Brighton Cup, sponsored by Avon City Ford for such a long time. A Group 3 race, 2,600 metres stand at 8:05.
Yeah, great contest, isn't it, too? We've got 10 going to the post, and you can pretty much make a case for at least 6 or 7 of them in my mind. I'm going to go with Laver. I thought he'd need a run first up. He was outstanding, Darren. Did a power of work, had no right to be there at the finish, kept kicking in that excellent time set up by the speed and the 5 lead changes in the first lap. So I think Laver, with that run, I don't need to tell Gerard O'Reilly to be positive on him because that's the way he drives him every time. And if he's up on the speed, he'll take a power beating. So I'll go for the 9. To beat Ultra Wise Guy. Love this horse. Gee, he's a good horse. He won the age pace back in November. He won those 2 Southland Cups, the Central Otago and the Invercargill Cup. His trial was great. He beat Akuta. He did it under his own steam. The time was excellent. And yeah, I can see him having a big part to play, particularly in these early races before the Self-Assureds and Akutas and these types of horses start stepping out, Krug. Ultra Wise Guy this week gets his chance. Of course, this is an automatic entry race, so they want to jump straight into it. His stablemate, BD Joe's going to be competitive. Great last time off 30 metres. That was his first win at Addington, but he'd been Group 1 placed twice at the joint. And Well, he's a sport couldn't have done any more, Darren. Could not have done any more. Missed away, got back. Yes, it got an economical run after that, but he actually held the Jeff and James Dunn pair quite comfortably in the end. He'll be competitive again. Excellent, excellent race. Haven't got the Falcon in there. Haven't got Steal the Show, who I thought was terrific last time too. Just a good contest, the Avon City Ford New Brighton Cup.
Race number 9, Gerards Mobile Pace. Again, great supporters of Addington Raceway, and of course Gerards available on course upstairs, and a number of trainers and owners looking at that on race night. 1980 gets underway at 8:30.
Like what I've seen from Franco Mack at the trials, I think I'm getting a vibe, I'm getting a vibe from the All-Stars. I'm very pleased with where he's at. You got to remember, he went very close to winning the Sire Stakes spot, and he just got beaten by Franco Indy. I reckon he can win fresh up. I reckon if they press forward, try and dominate from the top end, he can win. Bollinger drawn 1. That should make his task of getting forward early a little bit easier, I think, because, they'll probably be happy enough to hand to Franco Mack. The 9 in the book, Republican Party. Don't forget, fresh up, he got beaten from the same barrier draw. Never easy to go forward over the 1980 when you're in a fresh condition. And saying that, his trial was excellent, but he'll have to work around them. And both Bollinger and Franco Mack are pretty handy horses. And Sounds of Cash is low flying at the moment. But yeah, these are the sorts of races I love, Darren, at this time of the year when they're building towards a Cup Carnival and you know something's going to emerge. And I think Franco Mack might be that something.
Race number 10 is the Paul Renwick Joinery Mears Mobile Pace 1980 at 8:55, and Greg, a capacity Mears field for this race.
Yeah, great to see. I know we've been crying out for it. We keep hearing so often how we need more fillies and mares races. Well, we've finally got one filled up, which is great. So well done to all the connections for making that happen. I've always had a bit of time for Angel of Montana. She's raced in some pretty handy fields in her time, and her fresh up run was good. I'm happy to have something each way on her. Get Back, a mare by Bettor's Delight that just seems to be getting better and better with racing. Was terrific last time. Admittedly, it's a massive step from where it was, but gee, I thought to beat Move It On Over when doing all that work, you had to like a lot about that. Catherine, Honest as the Day is Long, and an excellent run last time. And Show Me Heaven's the X Factor horse. I think she might emerge out of this lot as the best. Whether she can do it fresh up, that'll be interesting, but I do like her as a racehorse. 7, 6, 9 and 13, but that's a really tricky leg of the pick 6 or the late body, that's for sure.
We round out the program with race 11 at 9:27, the First Direct Taxis Mobile Pace 1980.
Yeah, Darren, just going wide on the track here to Sweet Bell, Sporty Charlie, and here's Herbie. We'll start with Sporty Charlie. Couldn't have done anything more than he did fresh up. I know the Morris family have a lot of time for this horse, and now it's with Colin and Julie. Colin and Julie have got a lot of time for the horse too, and he was excellent last time, beating a better you. You'll get a guide on how she goes in that Neville R heat, but yeah, he's a Group 1 winner, so for Sporty Charlie to round her up, it was pretty impressive stuff. So it stands out on top. Here's Herbie. I know Colin and Julie have often thought that this horse is going to make its way through the grades, and when you've only had 9 starts and 7 of those you finished first or second, so that shows you that he's an excellent type, and he's trialled nicely behind No Time Like Now, who came out and won a terrific race last week when we're finishing third behind BD Joe. So yep, quite like it. Sweet Bell, Gerard O'Reilly and Sarah combined, excellent win last time at Rangiora. She flatters to deceive sometimes, this filly, or now mare. I reckon she'll be competitive this time, and Giselle's going great for that furthest as Zachary Butcher. Good race the last, but 8, 9, 7 and 1.
We've got some music and spectators that'll begin before the last race. It always gets a bit of a crowd in there after the races, and we've been really pleased that the numbers have been picking up in there. So a wee bit of music this time. We'll do it on the Premier meetings as we move forward, the Canterbury Classic, and of course the Harness Millions races in October. We're going to leave you with a New Brighton Cup, Greg, and there was plenty to pick from. I've picked out Franco Nelson's Cup, where he managed to beat Chris and me, and Lazarus, who was a wee bit stiff trying to get a run between horses. But when you look back through the field, this was one of these great races, and I'm sure this week will be the same.
Me, sent for home at the turn. Franco Nelson went to second. Lockeburn's gone. Then came Gosdale Connor. Quick as a trick out wide. Have faith in me. Third quarter 27.9. Chris and Me leads a length and a half. Franco Nelson. Lazarus working through from Have Faith in Me. It's Chris and Me. Franco Nelson comes at him. Chris and Me ahead. Franco Nelson drives. Lazarus super at the end. Franco Nelson won the Avon City Ford. Franco Nelson beat Chris and Me and a flying Lazarus. Then Have Faith in Me. Next in Smolder from Tiger Tara, Lockburn, Mossdale Connor and Quick as a Trick.